Hello and welcome to Atelier Able. Today I would like to talk about a peasant dance jug. This is a replica that I've made and it's quite a complicated piece to make. Partially because the shape is difficult to throw, but also because the decoration is so detailed. There went a lot of labor into these kind of jugs. Why all the effort and what's the meaning of the dancing peasants? Let's take a look at an original fragment. This piece was made at the end of the 16th century. The neck has broken off, but the decoration is still intact. Jugs like this were made in Raren, in present-day Belgium. It was a major pottery center at the time, and its products were traded all over Western Europe. The belly of the jug is decorated with a row of dancing couples and two musicians. This scene wasn't made up by the potters of Raren themselves, but it was based on engravings by Hans Sebald Beham, who lived in Germany in the first half of the 16th century. He made a kind of calendar in which every couple represents a month. So there's January and February, March and April, May and June, July and August, September and October, November and December, and finally the end of the year with two bagpipe players. Now if we compare these dancers to the dancers on the jug, we can see that their positions are mirrored. And that is because the jug is decorated with a mold. The dancers were cut out just like you see them on the engravings. Only when you make an impression in clay, you will automatically get a reversed image of your mold. Apart from being reversed, the couples are mixed up and the jug doesn't mention the months of the year. That means Beham's calendar series is changed into something else that fails to be a calendar. Then why were his peasants used on the jugs? We can find some clues in the text above the dancers. It says, Gerhard, du musst dapper blasen. Gerhard, you need to blow bravely. That's an encouragement for the bagpipe players. So dansen die Buren, als wären sie rasen. So the peasants dance as if they are mad. Fries üf, spricht Pastor. Ich verdanz die Kap mit Chor. Good day, says the pastor. I dance off my hat and choir mantle. The guy with the long mantle who's waving at us might be this pastor. He's dancing with a lady who might be identified as the wife of the village head. Apparently, it was customary during village festivities for the ecclesiastical and secular representatives to start off the party. Another remarkable figure among the dancers is this guy who's barfing his guts out. It makes perfect sense to depict a party on a jug, because jugs are party material. But there's more to it. This kind of jug was not commonly owned by peasants. It was rather a piece for the bourgeoisie. And just like the medieval nobility, they profiled themselves with good manners. And if you want to know what good manners are, then you also need to know what's not done. And that's where the peasants come into the story. They are used as an example for bad behavior. Their infamous parties were said to be especially outrageous. Here they would neglect all table manners, they would play uncivilized bagpipe music, they would dance wildly, they would drink excessive amounts of alcohol with predictable consequences, they would get carried away by their sexuality, and they could even become violent. Was any of that based on reality? It was certainly exaggerated. And townspeople didn't necessarily behave like angels all the time. In fact, to roast the rural population to make yourself appear better is a bit nasty if you ask me. So if it comes to a good morale, we may take a look at another cool jug in the collection of Boijmans van Beuningen. This jug is also from the late 16th century, and it has a text which reads, Wer seine Kopf will halten rein, der lasst die Bauern ihre Hochzeit allein. In translation, who wants to keep their heads all clear, don't come a peasant wedding near. But the people on the jug are no peasants. They are wearing the kind of garments that you would only expect among high society. One of them is barving just like the guy on my jug. And on the other side of the scene, a man reaches bluntly under a woman's skirt. The jug takes a critical view on the idea that the upper class behaved any better than peasants. A brilliant testimony of the complicated social structures at work. So maybe we shouldn't look at these jugs as if it's all black and white. Maybe there was also a certain fascination among the owners of these jugs for the rural life. It could be negative, but it could also have a positive side. The scene on the jug might also be appreciated for its decorative qualities, for representing a cheerful event and for being funny. So let's end on that positive note. If you want to own such a jug, it's possible again, after they have been out of stock for 400 years. And who knows what kind of wisdom you might find on the scene on your jug. Bottoms up!